Good morning, fourth grade. This is the second part of our lesson of Treasure Island. As you remember, our last lesson was our first portion of Treasure Island. And so we're going to jump into the second portion of our lesson. And let me just get to my screen here. Okay, so here we go. Let me go start. All right. All right, so we were reading about Treasure Island based on a novel of Robert Stevenson. So in the first lesson, we went over the vocabulary, we read the story, and you were going to think about what the main idea and what the details were of the story. So I asked you to think about it. So today we're going to actually go through those topics, main idea and details, all right? And I want to see how you do, and we're going to be using a graphic organizer. So on our last lesson, we talked about what is a main idea. Who can tell me what the main or what a main idea is? All right, so if you said the main idea is of a paragraph is the author's message about a topic. So the main idea of a paragraph is the author's message about a topic. It is often expressed directly or it can be implied. We said when it's expressed directly, let's just use for an example, a flower. If we said there is a red flower, that is directly telling us what color the flower is. Implied would be, an example of implied would say something like, the flower was the same color as a fire truck. So we know that a fire truck is red. So if we read a sentence that said, the flower is the same color as a fire truck, then we already know that that flower is red. That is what it means when it says it's implied. It'll give you a clue of what it is, but it doesn't directly tell you what it is. What are details? We talked about this in our last lesson. If you said details describe or give information about something, you are absolutely correct. So if we say there are flowers in the field, in order to give detail to that sentence, we might say there are beautiful red flowers in the field. Beautiful in red gives detail to the flower. All right, so here's our activity for Treasure Island. This is a graphic organizer, and it says main idea and details activity. So at the top, you're going to put your name. And then the next section, we have main idea and details. I want you, where it says main idea, if you need to, you can go back to our previous lesson and reread the story, or you can listen to me read the story to you and come up with what you think the main idea of the story was. All right, and remember, we only read an excerpt of the story. We didn't read the whole story. We read a piece of it. That's what excerpt means. So take a few seconds and jot down on a piece of paper. You can pause it and jot down this same graphic organizer on your paper, and we're going to fill in the blanks. So you can pause it, and I want you to write in the main idea. Okay, and we're back. So now that you've written down the main idea, I want you to find 3 details that supports what you said the main idea was. If you need to go back to the previous lesson to look up in the text those details, you can pause this lesson, return back to the first lesson and find those details. Write 3 different details. So you're going to put a detail, if you can see my little mouse, you're going to write detail 1 in here, okay? And then you're going to write detail 2 there. And then you will write the 3rd detail in the last box. So I want you to pause it and go ahead and find those details. All right, great job. So now we're going to go over it. At the bottom, you will see summary. We didn't talk about that in our first lesson, but we will get to it before this lesson is over. Okay, so I hope you can see this. So your paper should look similar to this. You can just grab any piece of paper at home and a pencil, and it says main idea and details. Of course, you always put your name up here, first and last name. The main idea of this excerpt was the captain is hiding from Black Dog. Okay, the captain is hiding from Black Dog. The first detail that we wrote is the captain kept watch with a spyglass. And you're probably wondering, how do we know that? So let's go back in our story. Let's find it. Let's skip forward here. Let's find that text evidence. All right, so here we go. This second part of the paragraph, first sentence, it says, during the daytime, in sunshine or in driving rain, the old captain hung round the cove. And here's our first detail right here. If you can see my little mouse. Keeping watch with a brass spyglass. That is our first detail. That's how we know he was hiding. He was keeping watch. He was looking for something. All right. All right, so let's look at our second detail that we wrote down. Let me skip ahead. The second detail, the captain asked the man who ran the inn to keep his eyes peeled for a seafaring man. All right, so let's give that supporting evidence. Where do we see that in the story? All right, second paragraph, last sentence. He asked the man that ran the inn, here's my little mouse, if I would keep my eyes peeled for a seafaring man. So the captain was asking the guy who ran the inn to keep his eyes peeled for a seafaring man with one leg, if you want to get more detail, with one leg. All right, and let's find our third detail. Let's go back and see what we wrote. Third detail. The captain asked the man who ran the inn to let him know if the seafaring man appears. All right, so let's find our text evidence, because we know when we're writing details, we have to find those answers within the text, okay? We can't just make it up out of our own heads. It has to say exactly what the story said. All right, so here we go. Third paragraph, right here where my mouse is, it says, let me know the moment he appears. All right, so those are our three details, how we knew the captain was hiding from somebody. He was hiding from Black Dog, okay? So if you had all of those answers, you did a great job. I'm so proud of you. I want you to keep working on this. And what you can do also at home is you could take a book that you have at home, you can read it, write out this same diagram, this graphic organizer, okay? You can write your little square for your main idea, like we did here, and write one block for detail 1, one block for detail 2, one block for detail 3, and you can write your own details that you find within the story. And remember, your details have to come from the text, okay? Sometimes we think about what it could be, but if the book didn't say that, that might not be a good detail you want to rely on. So you might want to stick to what the book says, okay? You need to stick to what the book says about the main idea and those details. At the bottom, you can do this for extra work. The summary. you could just sum it all up. And in this case, Black Dog, or the captain, was hiding from Black Dog because there's something that Black Dog wants from the captain. Okay? All right, so great job. Good work. I'm glad that you participated. Now, if you have any questions or concerns, if you want to submit a copy of your work, this is what you can do. You can write it on paper, all right, like we did here. Let me go back. You can write it all out like this, all right? You can get your phone, take a snapshot of it. That's the same thing I did. Take a snapshot of it, email it, okay? You can email it to fwilson@mnps.org, all right? And I will give you some feedback on your work. All right, if you have any questions about this assignment, you can also email me at fwilson@mnps.org. Let me take a look at your work. Let me know that you are doing it, and I will give you feedback on that. And then also keep looking forward every week to your lessons that we're going to have on YouTube. All right, I miss you guys. I enjoyed this story. If you have time, look it up on YouTube. You could probably listen to the whole story in its entirety. I think you will really enjoy it. So until then, until the next time, until our next literacy lesson, be safe, stay at home, and keep learning. Bye-bye for now.